channel. So today we are going to start recursion series. So let's discuss what recursion is and then we'll see an example. So recursion means calling the same function again and again but with smaller input. So in recursion, if you remember these three steps right, recursion will be very easy for you. So in recursion, first of all, you need to take care of the base case. You need to have recursive call and you need to do some work. So first of all, you need to think of the recursive calls, then you need to think of the small work you need to do, and then you need to think of the base case. So this is the order. So when you will write a program, right, you have to first, like when you are writing code for recursion, first of all you need to write base case, right? This recursive call and small work can be interchanged, right? You can first write small work and then you can do the call the recursive, like you can write the recursive call, or you can first give the recursive call and then you can do some work. So these are interchangeable, but when you are writing the code, you need to write the base case first. But when you approach a recursive problem, right, where recursion is used, when you approach that problem, first of all, you will be thinking how we can divide the problem into smaller problems, right? How the problem can be divided into smaller problems. Using this theory, you will be able to make the recursive call and you will be able to guess what you need to do the small work. And once you are done with these two steps, right, then you can think of the base case. So this is basic three steps how you can approach a recursive problem, and these are very important. If you'll remember these three steps, recursion will be very easy for you. So let's see recursion with an example. In this series we'll be going to discuss a lot of recursive questions which will like clear your all concepts on recursion, and then after that we'll move to dynamic programming. But before dynamic programming we need to learn recursion. So let's see the factorial program, recursive program, and using that we'll understand how recursion works. So we know that if we have to calculate 5 factorial is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? So if we have to calculate n factorial, right, what we do? We multiply n with n minus 1, right? Then n minus 2, and this goes on until 1. So if we know, like suppose if we know 4 factorial, if we know 4 factorial, can we calculate 5 factorial? Yes. What we can do is we can just multiply 5 with the 4 factorial and we'll get 5 factorial. So basically, like if you want to know n factorial, you can know n minus 1 factorial. If you have n minus 1 factorial, you can simply multiply n with that and you will get n factorial, right? So basically this is all. You can use recursion in this, right? So what you can do is you can have a recursive call to n minus 1. What this n minus 1 will do, like what the recursive call will do, it will calculate for you the n minus 1 factorial. Don't think about how it will calculate and what will be the all the calls and all. Don't just forget about that. Just keep this in mind that whenever you do a recursive call, right, that will give you the result. So when I am writing a recursive call, I am assuming that n minus 1 factorial will be calculated using recursion. And what I need to do is I just need to multiply n with that and I am good to go. And then I can return. So whenever you do recursive call, right, just have trust in that it will give you result, right? So what we think of is that first of all we thought of how we can divide our bigger problem with, our problem was 5 factorial, right? We divided into a smaller problem. We thought that if we know 4 factorial, we can multiply 5 with that and we can get 5 factorial, right? So first of all, what we thought how to divide our problem into sub problems. So we thought of recursive call. Then we thought of some amount of work. So what work we are doing? We are multiplying 5, right? We are multiplying n. So this was our work. Now let's think of base case. So if you see, this goes up till 1, right? And we know that factorial of 1 is 1 and also factorial of 0 is also 1. So base case could be, when base case is the valid possible input. The valid possible input could be n could be 0 or n could be 1. N could not be -1, right? -1 does not have any factorial. So valid possible input could be either 0 or 1. So what our base case can be, our base case could be that if n is 0, right? If n is 0, then return 1, or if n is 1, then also just return 1, because in both the cases factorial will be 1. So this is our base case. Base case is the the smallest valid input. So base case is smallest valid input. Now let's see the code. So in the code, first of all, this is our recursive call, right? This is our recursive call. We are calling this, we have given a function fact, and in that we have n, right? We have n. In the recursive call, we are passing n minus 1, right? Over here we saw that we were calculating 4 factorial, and we know that this fact function will calculate 4 factorial for us. And then what we are doing is we are just simply multiplying 5 with that and then returning it. So this will give us 5 factorial. And this is our base case, that if n is less than equal to 1. So n less than means if n is 0 or n is 1 equal to 1, then it will return 1. So this was our simple code. So it's very simple, right? Let's dry run this. Let's dry run and see. So over here, let's dry run over here only. Let me erase this. Okay. So first of all, we have fact function, right? Fact, and in fact we are given 5. N was given 5, right? When we will call this function, we call this function fact and we pass 5. Now, so 5 less than equal to 1. No, we do not hit the base case, right? So we'll go in else, and what we'll do is we will return, we have to return, right? 5 into fact of n minus 1. N was 5, right? N minus 1 will be 4. So this is, now this recursive call will go 4. So 4 is not less than equal to 1. So we'll go in else, and what we'll return is, we'll return n, which is 4, into fact of n minus 1. N was 4, right? So fact of n minus 1, 4 minus 1 will become 3. Now again this recursive call will be executed. So 3 is not less than equal to 1. We do not hit the base case. We go in else and we'll return 3 into fact of 3 minus 1. N minus 1, n is 3, 3 minus 1 will become 2. And then again we'll do recursive call. So this will return 2 into fact of 2 minus 1. 2, n is 2, right? So 2 minus 1 will become 1. And then this fact 1 will execute. So once this fact 1 will be execute, right? Now we'll hit the base case. When this fact fact 1 function is called, we will see that n is 1 and 1 is equal to 1. We hit the base case, so it will return 1. Means the value of this function will come out to be 1. So this will become 2. So it will return 2. So 2 will come over here. 3 into 2 will become 6. It will return 6. So value of fact 3 will be 6. 6 into 4 will become 24. It will return 24. So fact 4 value is 24 and 5 into 24 will become 120, which is 5 factorial. So basically this is how recursion works, right? So every time we solve a recursive recursion problem, right, we will not think how recursion is working in all steps, right, how recursive calls are going and everything. We will be just we'll trust that recursion will give us the answer, and what we need to think is we need to think how we can do the recursive call, and what is the work we need to do. Just this thing, the base case, the recursive call, and the small work. Every time we will not always draw these computations and all this recursive calls, right? We'll just trust that recursion will give us our answer, and we need to do the work, and we will return. That's all. So I hope you understood. This was a basic video on how recursion works, right? I hope you understood this. Just keep these 3 steps in mind. So let's meet in the next video, and we'll start doing recursive problems. Thank you for watching.